Welcome back to the workshop. If you're new here, my name is Chris and I run a small 3D print business in my basement. Today we're going to go through a commonly asked question and I'm going to do some product photography for these. I need to get up on my shop, and most importantly, I'm going to actually walk you through the editing process I use over on the computer. Let's grab a coffee and let's get going. So welcome to a new area of my home. This is upstairs, but I'm going to use this wall today for doing a photo shoot, and the reason why is because I have a really big window here that I can use for some natural light. What you actually need to take photos, and I know I'm going to eat my own words a little bit, but use your phone and the sunlight. That's really the two things that you need. I'm going to use my camera because I already have it. So I'm going to use the tools I have at my disposal. But technically, I could use the camera that I'm filming this on, or even my cell phone, but I know a lot of people get the nice top of the line, like iPhones or Samsung phones, and they have really great cameras that you could use as well. Now for mounting the actual pieces on the wall, I don't like screwing things into the wall. So I don't know if everyone here makes products that are for mounting, but one suggestion I do have is getting a roll of this stuff. This is called spec tape. It's actually for woodworking, and it's a pressure sensitive tape. It's really easy to take on and off, or I should say it holds really well. But when you do take it off, it doesn't damage or leave a bunch of really bad residue on stuff. I'll put a link to this in the description if you're curious. Both of them are mounted, but what I want to show you is the lights coming in from this direction. And this is, I don't even have my big light that I use from downstairs to do any photos here. You can see how nice this looks. And then in post, we'll be able to bring up the brightness or adjust any of the type of color profiles that we need to. Benefit of being married, I suppose. Took my wife's purse and threw it up on there. I like the leather accent, looks nice on the thing. So let me go ahead and take some photos, and then we can run downstairs and actually do the editing process. Welcome, this is Affinity Photo. So I think I've mentioned this before in the past, but this is the software that if you're getting into any like photo manipulation and you want to buy a program, I would recommend the Affinity software. I used to use Adobe. I know they're an industry standard, but I kind of got burnt by Adobe with kind of their like subscription model and fees and all that. And the Affinity software is a one-time purchase. I'm not sponsored by them, but I just really appreciate their business model and think their products are pretty good. So I've got all the photos in here, and you can see that it's way too big. So I'm gonna go ahead and select all of these, and I'll drag them down into the corner. And then don't want to do that. We want to make sure they stay the same resolution or aspect ratio, and you can see they're oversized, which is fine. Now, when it comes to the actual editing portion, it's pretty straightforward. So I would take a photo like this, for instance, and then I would go to the develop persona up here. Oh, needs to be a pixel layer. So I'll go ahead and do create pixel. Where is it? Rasterize. And then we'll do over here. So now that we're in here, we can actually see all the different settings that we'd want to mess around with. When you start out, and I'm still learning all this stuff and really how it affects photos, just play with the sliders. And this is true of pretty much every photo editing software, and there are free ones out there. But for me, I want this photo a little bit brighter, so I'm going to bring up the exposure by like 0.5, and then everything else honestly looks pretty good. So when I talked in a different video, I had mentioned how if you do make sure that your photos and your lighting is really good beforehand, there's really not much editing to be done. So I'll bring up my saturation by 10% just so it looks a little more, it pops a little bit more. And I think that's honestly good. We can maybe play around with black point. Maybe a 5% black point looks nice as well. I'll click develop, and that's it. So that's the entire photo editing process. I'll go ahead and export this image, and then I'll put it into Etsy. But I won't make you guys sit here. I'm going to go through and do the rest of these, and maybe not include all the photos, and then we can show you the actual listing part. Alrighty. So in here, I just actually swapped out my primary image with this one. I'll need to go in and do some alt text, which is SEO value. Later on, I'm just not going to do that right now at the moment. And then I updated this to say textured or smooth finish, similar to my other posting, and then also edited it in here under the finish options. The last thing to do is actually select variations. So I'll go in here, add variation, and we'll do, let's see, finish. We'll do surface finish maybe. And we'll do smooth, add, and we'll do textured. And yeah. Now there's an option to link up images there, which is kind of cool too. But we've got the two options for both color and finish. I think we're all set there. I'll go ahead and publish this and do the other listing as well, but it's honestly that simple. I hope you found some of that information helpful. I know some of you are probably expecting this long process to do photo editing, but honestly, it's pretty straightforward. If you can take a good photo from the start with lighting, just use the sun, be near a window, and then use a good camera. And don't go out and buy a camera. It's easy for me to say because I have one, but honestly, just use your phone. Most modern phones have exceptional cameras that can take really good photography for products. Do that, and then as you make profits, go out and buy the tools that you want. If you ever need some inspiration, there are some really cool YouTube videos of people who make full-fledged commercials or movies just on iPhones. And those kind of give you some perspective that the tool is not the answer, your own creativity is the answer. So every once in a while I'll watch those for inspiration. Updates on what needs to go out. So I've got some hoppers and coffee scoops. I'll talk about those at a later time. It is Saturday, so I need to get those packed and shipped. We still have time to get them to the post office today. And then this is my little tracking doc. By the end of today, I need to be at 340 sales. Right now, I am sitting at 333. So we are behind the ball on that front. It's funny that I just talked about that because I literally just got a sale for another hopper. So that puts me at 334. Not on pace, but hopefully we can get there by the end of the year. I think sales might pick up on the 26th after Christmas is over because right now people are scrambling to buy local for gifts because you just can't get stuff shipped to you fast enough. Well, overall, I hope you had a good time hanging around with me today. Hopefully something was informative. If you have more stuff that you want to see or questions that you have, please let me know in the comments below. I've got some ideas of videos that are queued up. My next step is 2025 planning. So we're looking at what products I want to put out, how I want to position myself. Just got a Shopify store. It's not live. I'm just dabbling in how I want to make that store. And we'll kind of go from there. But I am on vacation officially, so I have some extra time to dedicate to these videos. So I'll see you this next Tuesday. Thanks for hanging around.